Good morning, Sleepy Town. I'm Bo Bartlett, and you're listening to The Art House. Art House Radio on 88.5 WCUG, coming to you from beautiful downtown Columbus, Georgia, across the tracks at 9th and Broadway, from the Carpenters Building, Columbus State University. I'm here with our engineer and producer extraordinaire, Sho Irakawa. Good morning, Sho.
Good morning, Bo. How are you?
Good. Got anything interesting to report this morning?
Oh, wow. I'm super excited for the changing of the seasons. I'm super excited that, I love seeing this, the tree color change. It's so beautiful. It's so amazing to just kind of, especially down south.
Yeah.
We often don't talk about seasons, but seeing it for the short period that we have, it's so beautiful.
It's such a great time of year. I love the fall in the South. I love the fall in Georgia. It's a great time to get out and take a walk.
Definitely.
Which we're going to do today. It is our walking show today. We have a word of the day. The word of the day is amble. Amble. A-M-B-L-E. Amble. What a great word, amble. It means to walk or move slowly at a relaxed pace. Just amble. We have a quote of the day from none other than Henry David Thoreau. It is, "An early morning walk is a blessing for the whole day." An early morning walk is a blessing for the whole day. So glad you could join us today on the Art House. Thanks for being with us. We've got a great lineup of music all about walking, songs about walking. Couple songs by bands that are named Walking. So we mix it up a little bit, but it should be a nice fun show, nice fun autumnal show when we are walking. I'm going to take a little walk around the park and you'll get to walk with me as we walk around the park. We're going to start off this morning with Dionne Warwick with Walk On By from 1964. A classic walking song. Walk on by.
If you see me walking down the street and I start to cry each time we meet, walk on by. Broken and blue, walk on by, walk on by. Foolish pride, that's all that I have left. So let me hide the tears and the sadness you gave me when you said goodbye. Oh, walk on by. That's all that I have left, so let me hide Now you really gotta go, so walk on by. Baby, leave you never see the tears of cry. Now you really gotta.
Hi, good morning. Betsy and I are walking around the park, around Maricopa Park, our morning ritual. In the morning, we walk around Maricopa. And
said that.
good morning.
You just said that.
I know, I said it twice.
I think it's twice.
Hi, Betsy. And in the afternoon, we walk along the river. And I don't know how many miles we walk a day, maybe 4 total. 2 in the morning, 2 at night. And that's not like bragging, that's not very far, but it does circulate our blood and get our oxygen. We oxygenate by our inhales, and the blood gets oxygenated, and I think it's probably good for our circulatory system, right, Betsy? And that's the sound of 4 feet walking, 2 human beings walking side by side along the park, along the granules of the sand around the park trail in Maricopa. So I'll check back in a little bit. Just want to give you an update, a report on our morning walk. Okay, see you. Bye.
Moving in silent desperation, keeping an eye on the Holy Land, a hypothetical destination. Say, who is this walking man? Well, the leaves have come to turn in, and the goose has gone to fly, and bridges are for burning, so don't you let that yearning pass you by. Walking man, the walking man walks, while any other man stops and talks, but the walking man walks. Well, the frost is on the pumpkin, and the hay is in the barn, yeah. And Pappy's come to rambling on, stumbling around, drunk down on the farm. And the walking man walks, he doesn't know nothing at all. Any other man stops and talks, but the walking man walks on by, walk on by. And most everybody got seed to sow. It ain't always easy for a weed to grow. No, no, so he don't hold the rope for no one. The sure one's always missing, and something is never quite right. Ah, but who would want to listen to you kissing his existence goodnight? Walking man, walk on by my door, while any other man stops and talks, but not the walking man. He's the walking man, born to walk, walk on walking man. Well, now, would he have wings to fly? Yeah. Whoa, would he be free? Golden wings against the sky. Walking man, walk on by. So long, walking man,
Walking around the park down by St. Elmo and the tennis courts. It's beautiful this morning. A lot of moms with strollers. little toddlers, everybody being healthy, trying to work off last night's dinner. Just moving our bodies through space. Morning. Something about moving your body through space that lets you see the world anew every few seconds, because you're seeing new things. Some girls out on the football field in the middle of the track playing football. Powder puff, I guess. They've got their little tags sticking out of their pants. It's not tackle. It's not tackle. You pull that little tag and you're down. It's like two-hand touch, but you have proof in your hand when you've tackled somebody. Or when you've pulled their little ribbon. Morning. It's a beautiful day for a walk.
There's a pale horse coming, and I'm gonna ride it. I'll rise in the morning, my fate decided. I'm a dead man walking. I'm a dead man walking. In St. James Parish, I was born and christened. Now I've got my story, mister, ain't no need for you to listen. It's just a dead man talking. Once I had a job, I had a girl. But between our dreams and actions lies this world. In the deep forest, their blood and tears rushed over me. All I could feel was the drugs and the shotgun, and my fear up inside of me, like a dead man talking. Neath the summer sky, my eyes went black. Sister, I won't ask for forgiveness. My sins are all I had. And the clouds above my prison move slowly across the sky. There's a new day coming, and my dreams are full tonight. Without you, something's missing. Cannot say. For so long, now I wish for you today. इस दुनिया में आए हो Look in the eyes of the face of love. Look in her eyes, for there is peace. No, nothing dies within pure light. Only 1 hour of this pure love to last a life of 30 years. Only 1 hour, so come and dark.
जीना कैसा इस दुनिया इस दुनिया में आए हो तो एक दूजे से जीना कैसा यार बिना इस दुनिया में आए हो तो एक दूजे से
Look in the eyes of the face of love. Look in her eyes, oh, there is peace. No, nothing dies within pure light. Only 1 hour of this pure love to last a life of 30 years. Only 1 hour, slow coming down.
You're listening to The Art House on 88.5 WCUG. I'm your host, Bo Bartlett. The last three pieces were from the film Dead Man Walking, Tim Robbins' film, Dead Man Walking. Friedrich Nietzsche said, "All truly great thoughts are conceived by walking." Walking can be a mode of transportation, a form of exercise, a form of therapy, and a kind of prayer. To stay healthy, it's important to exercise regularly. Being physically fit can reduce the risk of developing health conditions like heart disease, diabetes, and cancer. Regular exercise can also be a benefit in helping us manage our weight. Walking is a great form of low-risk, accessible exercise. Walking 1 mile burns 100 calories. If you were to run a mile, you would only burn 20 extra calories, 120 calories. So it's a little more gentle on your body, walking. In our modern lives, we are awfully sedentary. We sit in front of our screens, we sit in the office or in class. We're always sitting, watching TV, playing games. So it's good sometimes to get outside and amble, to walk, to wander around, to burn some calories, to get our blood flowing. To burn more calories when you walk, you can find a trail that goes up and down hills. Walking up hills actually burns more calories. Or you can do a kind of walk jog, which is what I like to do sometimes. A walk jog. As we age, we experience continual muscle loss. But walking helps retain muscle strength. We need to retain muscle strength as we age to avoid injury. Several times in my life, I have done a version of a kind of walkabout in the sense that I will walk until it becomes a journey, like a search, a sojourn, to try to gather my thoughts, to find myself, to find where I am, to find my direction or a new direction. One time in New York, it was in the early 2000s, when I was struggling in a relationship. I was staying in New York in a friend's apartment, and I got sort of fed up. I was at my wit's end. I just didn't know what to do next in terms of the direction of my life. So I put on some brand new boots that I'd bought, and I started walking. I walked across the Brooklyn Bridge. From Brooklyn, I walked across into Manhattan. And this was evening when I had this moment of revelation. It was evening. I'd already had dinner and it was late. And I walked across Brooklyn Bridge into Lower Manhattan to the Lower East Side. And I just kept walking. And I walked and I walked through all of New York, through all of Manhattan, Chinatown, the Bowery, Soho, Chelsea, Midtown, the meatpacking district, at night, watching people coming in and out of parties and in and out of bars. And I too stopped once or twice in late night bars. And I kept walking uptown, past Midtown, the Upper East Side, the park, Central Park. I walked all night until I found myself on the Upper West Side at a diner at dawn. The sun was rising, and I went inside the diner and I had a bagel and scrambled eggs and coffee. I made the decision that morning that I was going to travel. I was just going to get out of the relationship and take some space. And I did. I made the decision to go to Paris, to go to Europe. And I bought a ticket and I flew across the Atlantic in my new shoes, my new boots that weren't broken in yet. And my feet were sore from walking around New York City. And I got to Paris. And I walked around Paris until I saw just one too many couples, too many lovers. And it was unsettling, and I had to get out of town. So I hopped on a train. I went to the train station and took the first train out of Paris, which was going down toward the wine district, toward Bordeaux. And I took that train to the end of the line till it hit the Atlantic Ocean at Arcachon. And I stayed in a little oceanside motel in Arcachon. And I woke up and I put my boots on and I left that little hotel and walked along the beach. And I walked south. And I walked and walked and walked along the French coast until my feet bled in the new boots. And I took them off and threw them over my shoulder and walked barefoot. And I felt a kind of freedom, a freedom in which I could make my own decisions. And I knew the future laid out ahead of me. So when it's time to make decisions, when your head's not feeling clear, I think it's a great idea to just get outside and take a walk. Get some exercise. Get your head on straight. Many walks we can take here around Columbus. There's the River Walk, 15 miles from Lake Oliver to Fort Benning. The Waracuba Park Path, a couple of miles around Lake Bottom. The Fall Line Trace or Dragonfly Trail, 11 miles from 14th Street Bridge to Midland. Flat Rock Park, Roosevelt State Park in Pine Mountain, and the Little Grand Canyon. All are great walks. Clear your thoughts. It'll add to your creativity. When you move through space, you'll see things. It'll activate thought patterns. It'll birth ideas and spur creative connections. Enjoy this day. Happy walking.
I go out walking after midnight, out in the moonlight, just like we used to do. I'm always walking after midnight, searching for you. I walk for miles along the highway. Well, that's just my way of saying I love you. I'm always walking after midnight, searching for you. I stopped to see a weeping willow crying on his pillow. Maybe he's crying for me. And as the skies turn gloomy, night winds whisper to me, I'm lonesome as I can be. I go out walking after midnight, out in the starlight, just hoping you may be somewhere a-walking after midnight, searching for me. I stopped to see a weeping willow
We're rounding the corner here at the little Girl Scout house. It's called the Girl Scout Little House on 17th and 18th. Doing a figure eight around the park. Walking this morning, just walking, not talking. Well, talking a little bit. Not even thinking that much. Because when you walk, you just clear. It's just clearing out. To the right is Wilkinson Field, home of Peach Little League. I played there when I was a kid. Played on the Bears. I wasn't very good. Played right field. Well, by the time I was old enough, I played center field. But when you're a kid, playing outfield means you're not as good or as adroit as all the infielders. One year I had a batting average of 0. I remember that. That wasn't pretty. Only kid in the league with a batting average of 0. But, you know, I got on base a lot because I was so small. I had, like, no strike zone whatsoever. And so I walked all the time. Scored a bunch, but 0 batting average. Hear the train in the distance. Crossing the creek here, the Maricopa Creek. Columbus High up on the left, up on the hill. Birds singing. Some cars passing here on 17th. Everybody seems happy out here in the world, in the real world, not in the virtual world, not in the metaverse, but in the real world, out here in the real world.
When we only feel section, when we only feel no joy for
shoes and I boarded the plane. Touchdown in the land of the Delta Blues, in the middle of the pouring rain. W.C. Handy, won't you look down over me? Yeah, I got a first class ticket, but I'm as blue as a boy can be. Then I'm walking in Memphis, just walking with my feet 10 feet off a beam. Walking in Memphis, but do I really feel the way I feel? Saw the ghost of Elvis on Union Avenue, followed him up to the gates of Graceland, and I watched him walk right through. Now security, they did not see him, they just hovered around his tomb. But there's a pretty little thing waiting for the king down in the jungle room. When I was walking in Memphis, I was walking with my feet 10 feet off a beam. Walking in Memphis, but do I really feel the way I feel? They've got catfish on the table, they've got gospel in the air, and Reverend Green, be glad to see you when you haven't got a prayer. But boy, you got a prayer in Memphis. Now Muriel plays piano every Friday at the Hollywood, and they brought me down to see her, and they asked me if I would do a little number, and I sang with all my might. She said, tell me, are you a Christian child? And I said, ma'am, I am tonight. Walking in Memphis, was walking with my feet 10 feet off a beam. Walking in Memphis, but do I really feel the way I feel? Walking in Memphis, I was walking with my feet 10 feet off a beam. Walking in Memphis, but do I really feel the way I feel? Put on my blue suede shoes and I boarded the plane. Touchdown in the land of the Delta Blues, in the middle of the pouring rain. Touchdown in the land of the Delta Blues, in the middle of the pouring rain.
Walking along Cherokee now, along the east side of the park. Beautiful morning. Peacock Woods to the left. There's a little free library box where you can get free library books. People leave them and you can just come and get a book. Free library books right there. There are all these little exercise stations around the park along the walking trail, which are places to stop and get your workout, push-ups and pull-ups. Morning.
Morning.
There's the band shelter. When I was a kid, they built that, and the Columbus Symphony would play there. don't know if that happens anymore. This is Midtown. Walk in the park in Midtown. Getting in our steps. I think we're supposed to get in about 10,000 steps a day. Isn't that right? I think that's right. Helps reduce all kinds of health risks. High blood pressure. Diabetes. Just walking for health.
Giant steps are what you take, walking on the moon. I hope my leg don't break, walking on the moon. We could
I want to thank you for joining us on our walk today. A nice figure eight around Lake Bottom. I think it's a couple of miles. So thanks for joining us. We are winded. We are happy. Our dopamine is spiked a little bit. And feel better about getting into the day. Hope to see you out here some morning. Walking around the park. All right. Thanks. See ya. Bye. And just like that, we've come to the end of another Art House Radio episode, The Walking Show. John Muir said, "In every walk with nature, one receives far more than he seeks." Well, Show, what do you think? Did you enjoy the little walking songs?
My legs are tired.
Yeah, boy, oh boy. It's good to get the blood circulating. It's good for us. We just heard Walking on the Moon by the Police. That's an all-time favorite, Walking on the Moon with Sting. And I'm going to go back and give you a complete rundown, although you can go and see the playlist on our website, arthouseradio.com. That's ARTHAUS radio.com. We started off with our theme music, Bluetooth by Alexandra Strelinsky. And then we heard Walk On By from 1964, Diana Warwick. And then Walking Man by James Taylor. I had that record up in Pennsylvania when I lived in Pennsylvania in the 70s, and I played that thing till the grooves were worn out. Then we heard a trio. We heard three pieces from the Tim Robbins film, Dead Man Walking. We actually heard Dead Man Walking by Bruce Springsteen. And then we heard Eddie Vedder with The Long Road. That's a great song. And then Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan with The Face of Love. During the story, we heard a couple of Nick Cave pieces, The Road and The Far Road. And then we heard Walking After Midnight by Patsy Cline. I remember being a little kid in my parents' bedroom in the morning when my dad was putting his tie on, getting ready for work, and my mom was putting her high heels on, getting ready for work at the medical library, and the radio would be on, and Cousin Al would be on playing country music. And I can remember them playing Patsy Cline and Walking After Midnight. That's one of those things that takes me way back. And then we heard the Cowboy Junkies with their version of Walking After Midnight. And then Blue Rider by the band Walking Man. And then Mark Cohn with Walking in Memphis. Rounding it out with Walking on the Moon by the Police. Thanks, Sting. Behind us you hear Pop Shalom with Hymn for Her. Thank you for being with us today on the Art House. Hope you enjoyed our walking show. Hope you'll get out and exercise a little bit today. Get out and walk around, ride a bike, get your blood flowing, do whatever it takes. You know, if you walk around the park, you can go and do those pull-ups and push-ups around the little setups there. They have those little stations. And I always enjoy walking the river walk in the afternoons. That's a beautiful walk with the sun coming from the west over Alabama. Thanks for being with us today. Hope you'll get a chance to make some art, go out and see some art. You have but one life, so let's live it and make this world a better place. Thanks for listening. We'll see you right back here next week. Love and light, y'all.